We're a small nonprofit. 4 people work here, are employed. We have a lot of volunteers. Been in the community since 2004. Our signature product is called the Prejudice Reduction Workshops. It's K through 12 curriculum. It's incremental graduated that we do throughout District 77, which is our local kind of regional school district, and then also the Loyola private school system, and then we're also working with other folks throughout the region, other school districts. We work with businesses on kind of preparing their organizations for the demographic change that's coming, and then we also support other community events around diversity and diversity initiatives. Mankato has been continuously changing since about 1990, and so there's some demographic information that shows from 1990 to 2004, Blue Earth County, which Mankato resides in, has changed about 170 some odd percent. Well, 2004 moving forward, they say in 2035 projections, the state demographer says that by 2035 we'll see about 117% change in non-white population and about a 3% change in white population. Our communities change, it will continue to change, but we don't see that change represented in who owns businesses, who has access to the opportunities to even start the process of opening a business, of entrepreneurship and enterprise. The context around it was that we didn't see a lot of minorities, refugees or immigrants, and women owning businesses, pursuing those business options like we thought we should. And so then we said, well, let's take a look at the system to see how does the system help, how does the system hinder, how does the system simply get in the way? Because the current system simply does not work for those folks who are coming to our community who may not have English proficiency like we would like, or who simply come from a system in which there was a distrust of the larger system in government and business opportunities, and now coming to a place where those institutions can be open to you. You can have access to them, but how do you engage with them? If you had a great idea, but you didn't have the $25 or the $50 or the $100 to process the paperwork, did that mean you couldn't do it? We thought that was just not the premium way to make sure that all great ideas are brought to the marketplace, where then the marketplace can decide if they succeed or if they fail. It's never been the money up front, it's always been a great idea. If you were an innovator in the marketplace, you were embraced and moved forward, and you had to continue to innovate. There was a Latino couple trying to start a business, had no credit but had 50 grand, right? But couldn't get anything started because credit was the thing you needed to have. And I thought, man, if you could have $50,000, right, an idea to try and put it onto the marketplace, but the one thing that stopped you was you didn't have what we call credit, right, to be able to do it. I thought, well, I thought, and again, I'm not a business person, but I thought something has to be wrong, right? Because there's no way I could have $50,000 in cash ready to say, hey, I want to embark on this process of making this idea real, and be told no. And so we wanted to behave differently from that, because if we looked like, walked like, talked like the old, if you will, system or the current system, then many folks within those communities would not engage. The change we made, or change that evolved, was the idea of, here's the 3 sheets of paper that you need, fill it out, bring it back to us, right? We said, no, we can condense that sheet, we can make it more user-friendly, and we can simply talk to them, right, to understand what's the idea, and then try and put the information into the proper places on that form so that we could get a concise kind of description of what they were looking at. We also use cultural liaisons and translators and interpreters to make sure that we could reach those folks in the populations that we needed to, right, where English proficiency wasn't at a premium. But we're also willing to say we believe in engaging in the system, right, because again, some of those communities historically engaged and were not treated the best. Yeah. We're working on some things, we're changing some things, initiatives are moving, and so let's engage again. So that's part of what we've been able to do. And so for me, it is the great idea. We go off of that. We try and help our clients flesh out that great idea. And then we start to talk about, okay, here's some of the forms we'll have to go through. Here's the rules and regulations. Here's some of the dollars. Again, unfortunately, we have not created the new system yet. So we still have to play by some of the old system's rules. But again, we want to try and behave differently from the system. It's been incredibly beneficial to all involved. I think it's been incredibly powerful for those who we have helped and assisted in business ownership, business development. So we've worked with about 14 different businesses, some just starting out, some already established, and in working with those 14 businesses, we've created, I believe, 77 employees, right, throughout those businesses. We did take one business over kind of the $1 million mark, right, in terms of what they were able to do. And that particular business, again, is one of those areas in which you would not expect a minority entrepreneur to be in, and that was construction, right? And it was a woman, a Latina woman, who led that organization and is doing good. But it was through some of the help of the Entrepreneur Doorway Project that was possible. I would love to create a new system, and I think mainly because the current structure simply doesn't work for minority, refugees, and immigrants to a large clip, and for women. And I think the idea of the Entrepreneur Doorway Project was to create that system that made it possible. Now, would that mean that all folks who try to start a business will be successful? No, it doesn't. But it meant that they would have the opportunity. And for me, that's the dream, is that you have the opportunity. And we've created a system with cultural competence and cultural expertise and business expertise that can help you if you want to, right? If you don't want to, great. But if you do have that great idea and you do want to see if the marketplace embraces what your idea is, the system is ready.